since the reform and opening up in 1978 when China's economy took off, and in recent years, with China embarking on a transformation from a manufacturing country with low cost to an economic model based on services, innovation, and demand, the need for skilled labor increases all the time. Now, 41 years later, China boasts some of the world's most advanced maglev high-speed train systems, many of the world's most advanced airports, and most technologically sophisticated buildings and port facilities. Have you ever wondered where the skills and labor to build these modern wonders came from? Well, let's take a look at the vocational education in China. Vocational education mainly includes technical education and vocational training, TVET. Skill development and TVET is an important component of the massive Chinese education system and has had a profound impact on enhancing national employment and competitiveness. What's more, Chinese TVET integrates education and training, thus promoting both general fundamental skills as well as specific technical and vocational education. During the economic reform, new industries and business boomed, which in turn demanded trained personnel to fill job positions for specialized fields. The 1996 Vocational Education Law set the standard for vocational education reforms, which continue today. After 2000, the focus on vocational education development shifted from expansion to quality improvement. Over the last 2 decades, the Chinese government has set an overall vision for a modern TVET system. It adopted service-aimed, employment-oriented, production learning research combined as a basic principle. From the National Medium and Long-Term Education Reform and Development Program from 2010 to 2020, the Chinese government is striving to build a knowledge economy. This transition would require that workers have ongoing training or lifelong learning throughout their careers rather than merely to prepare for a transition to a new career. Vocational education in China is delivered through vocational higher education institutes, secondary skill schools, vocational high schools, and adult education. In each category, there are a variety of school types. For vocational higher education institutes, there are workers' colleges, peasants' colleges, institutes for administration, educational colleges, correspondence colleges, radio or TV universities, and other institutions. In 2009, there were over 2 million students enrolled in vocational higher education institutes in China. Some vocational education institutes have the capability to award a degree equivalent to a bachelor's degree for 4-year program graduates. China's campaign to encourage greater enrollment in vocational educational institutions has been immensely successful. Within the proportion of students enrolled in secondary vocational schools, going from around 1/4 of the number enrolled in high schools in 2000 to an enrollment roughly equal to that of high schools in 2009. China has experimented vocational education reforms in pilot areas such as Tianjin, Sichuan, Chongqing, Hubei, and Henan. Pilot area programs have contributed significantly to the enrollment in the last several years. The pilot areas have autonomy in designing programs while agreeing to achieve a common set of general goals. Vocationalism and localism are two defining characteristics of vocational education institutes. TVET institutions are motivated to work with industries, and many school-industry collaboration mechanisms have now been well embedded to address these issues. The government is also incorporating trade unions, the Communist Youth League, Women's Federation, and social organizations in the delivery of TVET. Further, TVET institutions are increasingly using technology in the delivery of training to meet the demand for a skilled, ICT-capable labor force needed by advanced manufacturing technologies. As a result, graduates from vocational colleges find jobs, including self-employment, soon after graduation. A recent survey indicates that more than 90% of Chinese TVET graduates find gainful employment within 6 months of graduation. For technical and practical skills, there is a system of occupational standards, assessment, and certification. Training programs and curricula are developed based on the occupational standards that consider specific requirements of a labor market need. Companies are actively involved both in setting standards and in designing curricula. This ensures that vocational colleges produce competent trainees with the necessary skills, knowledge, and attitudes relevant to the market. In China, there is strong cooperation between vocational colleges and enterprises. The TVET institutions are motivated to develop their own brand and produce employable graduates. Companies cooperate with vocational colleges in planning, course development, and teaching, allowing students to acquire practical training and industry exposure, such as apprenticeship, and evaluation of the programs. Most vocational institutes in China are locally administered and financed at the city level. Vocational institutes offer programs specifically designed for professional and occupational needs at intermediate and lower levels of the local job market. Practical skill training and hands-on learning are used to familiarize students with specific job requirements. Institutional policies and development plans are constructed in conjunction with local social and economic needs. Vocational training schools have dynamic relations with employers, high-quality training, and the flexibility to respond to rapid changing and competitive environment. In China, there is one famous vocational education institution in Jinan, Shandong, with a name known to almost every household, Shandong Lanxiang Vocational School. It gained domestic attention mostly because of its arresting advertising slogan, but its international influence was probably gained because it was singled out by the New York Times as having participated in cyber attacks against U.S. companies and government agencies. Yet, as its advertisement describes, it is a vocational school that offers courses in subjects such as cooking, auto repair, hair styling, construction equipment operation, and it specializes in teaching people how to drive excavators. It proved, nonetheless, an extent of success achieved in Chinese vocational education. As it gained international attention, there are more and more international students enrolled in Lanxiang. 4 years ago, a 15-year-old boy from Ghana, Sergio Thompson, came to Lanxiang to learn auto repair. Later, he named himself Liu Yang, homophonic as studying overseas. He shared his experience as a student learning Chinese and auto repair techniques in a recent news report, speaking in fluent Chinese, and learned more than the skilled assembling and disassembling the auto engine. Upon his graduation, he intends to open an auto repair vocational school in Ghana with his father. Another international student, Maximilian, is from Germany, the cradle of vocational education. Max studies e-sport management, which also reflects the rapid growth of Chinese e-sport industry. On the 13th of February 2019, the Chinese State Council published its implementation plan on national vocational education reform. It signals a significantly strengthened focus on vocational education, which was reinforced in early March by Chinese Premier Li Keqiang. The plan seeks to raise the status of vocational education, an attempt to eradicate a common mindset that vocational education is a second choice to an academic degree. This diagram shows the current vocational education pathway in China, and it is a changing one. In 2014, students are allowed to enter higher vocational colleges through multiple channels other than the National College Entrance Exam, 高考. Instead of taking the 高考, students can sit an academic plus skills test organized by local governments or higher vocational institutions to be accepted. This path is often taken by graduates from secondary vocational schools. Over 5 to 10 years' time under the plan, the vocational education system will gradually shift from one largely designed by the government to one fully driven by the market. Enterprises are strongly encouraged to support the development delivery of vocational education. The plan encourages Chinese vocational institutions to learn from Germany, Japan, and Switzerland. By 2022, China aims to transform select universities into practical institutions, universities of applied sciences, where students can acquire a bachelor degree plus a number of occupational skills certificates, a mechanism known as the 1+X model. The new plans are set out to prepare China for the rise of Industry 4.0 and the fast upgrading of manufacturing industry with new challenges such as AI. That's the end of the class. See you next time.